Last Duel is a new medieval epic that is directed by the one and the only Ridley Scott. This film stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jodie Comer, Adam Driver, Roose Bolton, who I know has an actual name in real life that I'm just not remembering right now, but Game of Thrones alum, we'll always just call him Roose Bolton, let's be honest. The film is based on a true story, I think, and it takes place back in medieval era France. Matt Damon plays a knight named Jean de Carouge, and one day he challenges a former friend and squire, played by Adam Driver. His name is Jacques de la Grise, I think. Either way, Carouge challenges him to a duel after Carouge's wife accuses la Grise of raping her in their home. So this movie deals with the fallout from all of that and the implications of it as all of a sudden her life is put on the line based on the idea of if she's telling the truth or not. Ridley Scott is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, and he has made some of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, Gladiator, Blade Runner, you name it, the list goes on and on. In the last few years though, out of necessity, I've been forced to treat Ridley Scott like a seesaw or like the stock market. Like sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. It really just depends on where you're sitting and what you're looking at. At the very least, I was hoping that it wasn't an unmitigated disaster. And what I can say after watching it is that, yeah, this is a damn good movie and there are a lot of things to like. No, a lot of things to love about this movie. Some things that I'm kind of not as much in love with, but we'll save that for the other part. That's why there's two parts to this video. For starters, from a filmmaking standpoint, this is actually one of the best made films of 2021. If you're looking for visuals, if you're looking for all the technical aspects that go into the filmmaking process, cinematography for this movie is lush and beautiful. This has an interesting muted color palette where there's a lot of bluish hues, darker, more depressing looking melancholic colors, and it really does reflect the tone of the subject matter in this movie, which is very depressing and very dark, very serious stuff. This movie has some of my favorite shots of the entire year, and if you're looking for other things like the music, the costume design, the use of setting and location, and how it really benefits the cinematography they're going for here. If you're looking for like the makeup or the wigs, well, okay, some of the wigs were they left a little bit to be desired. Like some of these wigs, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you would be better served if you had just given that person a bald fade or something, but you know, it's just a nitpick. It's not really that big a deal. Most of the wigs in the movie are pretty good. Every actor or actress in this film is trying to go for that Oscar here. You look at certain scenes and you're kind of like, if they get nominated for an Oscar, this is the scene that they're gonna show during the video montage. They're gonna show that scene. And Matt Damon is great in this movie. There are definitely some parts of the story where you'll sympathize with him in his position, and then there are other parts where you're like, dude, you're an asshole, and I don't think we should trust you or like you very much. I would say the one person that kind of stole the show in some spots for me was Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck in this movie, he plays like this French overlord of sorts. Ben Affleck in this movie is such a douche. He's a dick. He's a dick douche. He's an asshole. He's like everything in between all of those words. There's so many times in this movie where he simultaneously pissed me off but also made me want to laugh, and I think this movie definitely needed a character like that to bring some sense of levity and outrageousness to this time period, and I think Ben Affleck, even in a limited role, did a good job with that. But make no mistake about it, you can take Matt Damon, you can take Adam Driver, who is great in this movie, Ben Affleck, all of the other actors and actresses, they all did great. But this is Jodie Comer's movie. Gives the best performance in the film. She is transcendent, despite the fact that she really doesn't have a huge stake in the movie until like halfway through it. Not me saying she should be nominated for something at the awards. This is me saying she absolutely 100% will be nominated for something at the awards. Whether she wins or not, the year's not over yet. We'll see what happens. This movie does have a unique story structure in the sense that it tries to tell the story from three different points of view, three different perspectives. Overall, if you wanted to draw parallels politically and thematically or ethically between some of the stuff that they're talking about in this movie and some of the modern day stuff that we talk about every day, you definitely could do that, and I do think the film is at least trying to bring that conversation to the forefront. There is so much to love in this movie, the intensity, the action sequences, the epicness. I think the pacing is a bit of an issue in this movie, and I think a lot of that is due to the nature of the story and how they've decided to tell it here. They decided to do different perspectives, and at times it feels like the story is constantly restarting itself, and so you add that to some weird time jumps that are within some of the time periods and perspectives that they're showing, and it makes some of the pacing feel very haphazard throughout the film. Sometimes the film feels like it's going a little bit too fast, and some parts of the film feel like it's taking way too long to get to the point. I think if you're trying to show different perspectives, I think there was a better way to go about it than what they decided to do, which is essentially show the same event and make people have to sit through it twice. I think that this contributes to the fact that the message that the movie is going for, some of the things that it's trying to say, get a little bit muddied along the way, and the message doesn't become as clear the longer the movie goes on. It really comes down to the structure of the story and the decision to depict certain graphic details in the story that feel kind of unnecessary and feel like piling on, and it just feels like it makes the message of the movie feel diluted. Overall, The Last Duel is an epic and entertaining and well-directed film with a lot of things to love, but not quite enough about it to make me actually love it. The Last Duel was a damn good movie, well-directed, falls just short of greatness. I'm gonna leave this one in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. Those are my thoughts on The Last Duel. Tell me what you thought about it. Give me your thoughts on the film in the comment section down below, or tell me what your top 5 favorite Ridley Scott movies of all time are. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.